Hey y'all, how y'all doing tonight? So we decided to have leftovers for dinner because we had so many, so I didn't make the beef and broccoli tonight. We'll make that another night. But what I am going to make is I'm going to do a little bit of baking. So I'm getting ready to make some Hummingbird Cupcakes. We're having a little staff meeting at church tomorrow night, so I'm going to make these to take. And I had 3 bananas that were getting all, speckled up. And I had some leftover pineapple in the fridge. So I've mashed our bananas, mashed the 3 bananas. Actually, I put them in the food processor after I took the fresh pineapple and put that in the food processor. I needed a cup, so I still had some left. I just wanted to show y'all that this is something that you can do with any leftover pineapple. Is I went ahead and crushed it up, and I just wrote crushed pineapple on the date, and I'm going to freeze this. So anytime I have blueberries or strawberries or something like that in my fridge that looks like we're not going to eat it before it goes bad, I just throw them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer. You can have them for smoothies, you can make muffins, you can do most anything with them. So anyway, I've saved those, but the first thing we're going to do is get started mixing our dry ingredients. Now, I'm hoping to just use these 2 bowls. Y'all know how I do with using bowls. It's not always the size I need. And of course, I've already forgotten to bring some over. With all this on my table, you'd think I had enough, but you always want to spoon your flour when you're baking. Now, when you're cooking, that's different. You can kind of guesstimate. It doesn't have to be exact. But when you're baking, it has to be a little bit more exact. However, these, have y'all ever heard of hummingbird cake? And I'm just making, cupcakes. But these border on the edge of more of a quick bread. So it's not quite as precise as a regular kind of cake, but you still have to be pretty exact when you're baking. Because if not, it's not going to rise right. It's, not going to be moist. It's going to be dry, whatever the case may be. So we are going to be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And generally, I have a paper plate here, and I spoon this over a paper plate, but I didn't bring that either, so I'm doing it right across this little container. Got 2. I don't have to do a whole lot of mixing in this little bowl. That's why I'm hoping that it'll work, because these were much easier to get to than my other ones. My other mixing bowls, are stacked, nestled in each other. And they're underneath my cabinet, and I have to take the lid off the thing, and then I have to get out the size I need and put them back, and it's just too much. This is easier to get to. Readily accessible, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, so flour done. Basically what we're doing is mixing our dry ingredients, except for the sugar. That gets mixed with the wet. So we are going to be using the 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That's a good boy. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I told y'all not long ago sometimes you use both. See, this is one of those cases. We are going to be putting 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay, we are going to use 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, ground allspice, and I didn't realize this was a new one. Come on, baby, don't make me break my fingernails. I already broke one like yesterday or something, which, look, I don't get manicures and do all that, but I still don't really want to break them. What I would like to do is get inside of this little container, though. There we go. There we go. I didn't realize it was a new one. It smells so good. So a hummingbird cake originated in Jamaica. Did y'all know that? And it had a different name. I can't remember. Oh, and a half teaspoon of salt. I can't remember what the name of it was, but the town, and I may not have this exactly right. Y'all can Google it. But from what I can remember, like the town was named something, I think, that meant hummingbird, or it was the national bird or whatever. And then when the cake came over here, instead of using that name, people just started calling it hummingbird cake. And then they say it's so sweet, it's something that the hummingbirds would like to eat. Bear, you know you're not supposed to be here. Go. Lay down. Good boy. Stay. Stay. That's a good boy. He's laying down. Good boy. Now what I have to get is a whisk, because I forgot the whisk too. People, what in the world is going on with Laura? She's forgetting everything. All right, now comes the wet ingredients. Okay, we're going to put in our 3 bananas, mashed bananas. Okay, 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple, or 8 ounces of fresh pineapple, and you want the juice and all, okay? You need that juice in there. We're going to put a 1.5 cups of oil, whatever kind of oil that you like to use. Y'all know around here, I typically use avocado oil, okay? Then, oh, let me put this back in my flour. Okay, so we're going to put 3 room temperature eggs. That thing was about to roll and hit the floor. We do not want that. Y'all remember the trick I told you? If your eggs aren't room temperature and you need them to be, put them in a bowl of kind of like hot water. Not scalding hot. You don't want it to cook in the shell, but pretty hot. And then leave it in there, 5-10 minutes, something like that, and you'll have room temperature eggs. Quick tip, don't you love the quick tips? All right, now we need our sugars. So we're going to be using 1 cup of granulated sugar. I use the Domino premium sugar. If y'all have noticed at all that my sugar is not white. I like the premium sugar. It's like fine grated cane sugar. All right. I can tell already that bowl's not going to be big enough, because that needs to go in that. And I still got enough cup of sugar to go. Bummer. Oh well. It is what it is, isn't it, folk? So we're going to use a cup of brown sugar. You can use dark or light. I grabbed the light this time. I had more light in my pantry than dark. So that's what we're using this go round. And y'all can see I'm kind of packing it down. Anytime you use brown sugar, you need to pack it down. Unless it tells you not to pack it. But generally speaking, the rule of thumb is you pack brown sugar down. Okay? There's exceptions to every rule. Alright, and again, I spilled some. We're going to put that on the top. My table's clean. I wash it and sanitize it. So y'all don't never have to worry about that with Miss Laura. She is a cleaning and sanitizing kind of girl. Alright, I'm going to try to mix this up in here without making a big old mess. Then we're going to get our whisk, and I'm going to whisk it once it's kind of mixed in here. I've never seen such a mess on my table. Oh, to the well. Alright, let me put this lid on so I spill something in it. Alright. Now we're going to whisk this up. This is an easy one too. Why I say it's more like a, kind of more like a quick bread, because you don't even need to get out your mixer or anything with this. Now we will be using our mixer for the icing. It's a cream cheese icing on here. And it's supposed to have pecans in it. You toast the pecans in the oven. And to do that, all you do is put them on a parchment-lined cookie sheet and turn your oven on 300, and you let them cook on there for about 6 to 8 minutes until you can kind of smell them and they're toasty. But when I went to my pantry, I was out of pecans, but I had walnuts. So this hummingbird cake will be a little bit different. It will have walnuts, but that's okay. All right, there is no way. Do y'all think there's a way that I can put this into here without making a mess? Do you dare me to try? I don't think it's gonna happen, but you know what? I'm game. I'm gonna try it. If not, I'm gonna go over there and get another bowl. But we're gonna try to go for it. Cause it's here. It's already messed up. So, and I have got some different cupcake liners in my, it's not your typical ones. These are the ones I use for muffins in my jumbo pans. But this right here makes enough for a 3-layer hummingbird cake. So it would make 36 cupcakes. And I have 2 more cupcake pans, but I'm going to try to see if I can just make them a little bit bigger, because these muffin cups are bigger. Y'all will see. If you haven't seen my muffin video, you'll see. Y'all know what? It's going to work. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. I like it. I like it like that. Alright. Y'all know I can't sing, but I'm going to keep on singing. God give me a voice, I'm going to use it. Because I like to sing. I used to be able to sing pretty good when I was younger. I was in chorus in school and choir in church and all that kind of thing, but you know, I'm sure I'm not the greatest of singers. But I sure do like singing. Do y'all like to sing? Do y'all sing in your kitchen? Do y'all sing to your kids? I bet they love it if you do. Alright, now all we're going to do is mix it up. It's fast. See, it's more, that's why I said it's more like a quick bread than a cake. Alright, now what I'm going to do is fold in, have I got a spatula over here? Yes. I'm going to fold in these little toasted walnuts. So, I'm going to just try to do this without making a mess. Yes. Woo, woo. Let me get my little scooper while I'm over here. Alright, spatula. Alright, we're going to just fold these in, go underneath and over, underneath and over, underneath and over, until they're all folded in. If y'all can smell this, Oh, you know what I didn't put? That's alright, I'll put it now. I do need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Laura's homemade vanilla. Yum. And that smells delicious too. But you know, vanilla is one of those things that's kind of like the Hershey cocoa powder, where you're like, oh my gosh, that smells so good, and you give it a taste and it's like, oh, nasty. That's kind of like vanilla. It smells good, but if you taste it with nothing, it's nasty. Although, you know, I'm one of those who can drink black coffee, so I don't mind things that have a weirder taste than some. All right. Here we go. All right. I'm going to pause y'all a minute and wipe up, get these dishes out the way so I can pull my cupcake liners over here. If I can turn it off. Okay, mess cleaned up. Ready to fill the cupcakes. Now, I'm going to try to do this without being too messy. However, This is a very wet batter. It's not very thick. So it's gonna be messy. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to fill them. But I'm starting out with 2 scoops. I might end up going back and putting more. Actually, I probably will, but for right now, we're rolling with 2 scoops. Scoops, not stoops, but scoops. You see how it's falling everywhere? Because I don't really want it to, spill everywhere and get on my cupcake pan and all that kind of thing. But they are filled up, which means too, it's going to take them a little bit longer to cook. I'm going to cook them on 350 for probably about 22 minutes. And generally, my cupcakes only cook for about 13 minutes. So these are a little bit denser, thicker. It's got the nuts and the pineapple and the banana. It's not just like a light and fluffy cake mix that cooks, fairly quick. That one got on the outside. Sure didn't want that to happen, but here we are. It'll just stink up a little bit. There goes another one. Just like the other one. There it goes. Oh, this might work out. It might work out. These scoops, of course, they're Pampered Chef, one of the first things I got. And they look as new as they did the day I got my kit. But if y'all don't have these, I would suggest that I use them for all kinds of stuff. If y'all have these scoops, somebody tell how great they are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to open these up a little bit. They're called tulip cups. So if y'all would like to order some on Amazon for yourself, these are great for muffins, but I haven't really ever used them for cupcakes. We're going to try it and see how it rolls. I don't mind experimenting, y'all. We'll see how it comes out. They are very full. I don't know if y'all can see it, but they're full. But here we go with the next one. But they come in a pack. There's the white ones, there's tan ones, and there's dark brown ones. I really tend to like the dark brown ones the best. It just gives that rustic look. So usually when I'm making my to die for blueberry muffins, I might not even have enough to fill all these because I filled them so full. But that's all right. We're going to have what we have. Look, at these church things, everybody brings food. There's always leftovers. Y'all know what it's like, right? Y'all do church functions and all that kind of thing. I could go in and, take some out of some and put it in the other ones, but I'm probably not going to do all that tonight. I'm probably going to roll with just what I got, and they're going to rise up and pop over the top of this and look all delicious and stuff. We got a little bit more here. Might can get one more. If it doesn't fill this one up, I might steal a little bit out of a couple just for this one. Alright, now, one momento. I'm going to steal a little bit. Y'all ever steal a little bit of batter? And yes, Laura's making a mess. That's the whole problem with this part, stealing, is it typically tends to make a little bit of a mess. But we're almost there. 2 more to go. Maybe that might have to be the taster. You always have to have a taster. All right, they're done. They're going in the oven. It's already preheated. We're going to get this train rolling. I'm going to take these out. No need to mess those up. Alright. I'm going to put them in here side by side in my oven. And we're going to see y'all back here in about 20 minutes. Alright. Be back. I'll be back. Okay, so as soon as I put the cupcakes in the oven, I knew when I set them in there, they were too full and it was going to rise up and probably be a mess. So I immediately pulled them back out, took my little spoon, dipped some out, filled all the cupcakes up so they wouldn't spill. It wasn't that big a deal. It didn't take that long. So we've got another 7 minutes. I only set the timer for 15 because I want to test it at 15. I think it's going to be longer, but I'm going to test it at 15. We've got about almost 7 more minutes left on that. I'm going to go ahead and get started on our icing, frosting. What do y'all call it? Icing or frosting? Okay. I frost the cake, but I've never really called it frosting. I've always called it icing. Maybe that's one of those things, depends on where you live. So really, we should be using 2 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese, but I only had 1 1/2. And you were supposed to put 2 half sticks, so 1 cup of butter. But it was only supposed to be 3/4 of a cup of butter. So I'm using, this sounds so confusing. I'm using more butter than cream cheese because it's what I had, okay? Maybe I can post this recipe so y'all can get the exact measurements. But right now we're using 1 1/2 bricks of cream cheese and 2 sticks of butter. So that's what we're doing. Look, you can make do, right? And it's icing. So, and this is Kerrygold too. This is the good stuff. I love some Kerrygold. The fat content is higher in Kerrygold. It's just a more premium butter. It's so yellow just because it's good butter, grass-fed cows. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take this over and I'm going to hook the paddle attachment to my KitchenAid mixer, and I'm going to get this kind of incorporated, a little bit fluffy. I'm going to be putting in about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and probably close to this whole 32 ounce of powdered sugar. When I get to maybe 3/4 of a bag, I'll see the consistency and see if I want to add more. It doesn't have to be precise when you're making frosting. It's whatever texture, whatever consistency you want. So I'm going to run over here and get this done, mix all this up. We'll be back maybe when the cupcakes come out. They got about 4.5 minutes to go. Okay, this is kind of the consistency that you want. I'll try to mix it up a little bit so you can kind of see it mixing. See how it's nice and creamy, a little bit fluffy. That's what you want. So if you always need to have your butter and cream cheese at room temperature. If you forget, I hate to say it, you can microwave a stick of butter. I would do 10 seconds and then flip it all the way over and do it another 10 seconds. But if that butter starts to melt, it is going to mess up your frosting. It's the wrong consistency. It would be better to put that stick back in your refrigerator and get another one out to try. The other thing you can do too is you can always lay your butter on top of the stove where your oven is heating and it's a little bit warm to kind of do it quickly, because when your cake or cupcakes come out, you've still got to let them cool. So it's still time to let that come to room temperature and then make your icing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get our powdered sugar in here and get it all mixed up. Okay, so whenever you put your powdered sugar in, and y'all can see I used about 3/4 of a bag. When you put your powdered sugar in, I always put this guard on so it doesn't fly everywhere. And you want to start it off on low until some of that powdered sugar gets mixed in there, because otherwise you're going to have powdered sugar all over your kitchen. And then you can just gradually increase the speed to about medium. I don't want to go any faster than 5 for the frosting. I usually just do it on 4. One reason I can't stand the sound. I hate the sound of motors, fans, any of that. Alright, I'm gonna turn this off for a second because I want to see my consistency. I want to see if it's gonna pipe. So this is super soft. It's not gonna pipe well. Again, this was for a cake, and you don't usually pipe, you spread. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do this with one hand since I'm holding the phone, and I'm gonna dump in the rest of this bag right inside of here. I'm gonna put that into the sink. We're gonna put our little guard back on, and we're gonna go on low and get it all mixed up again. It smells so good in this house. Those cupcakes smell so good, y'all. I mean, don't you love the smell of something baked? Just baked goodness. And I'm going to tell you what, I am a pineapple freak. I love me some pineapple. Alright, so she's just whipping. This is not hard to do. Y'all saw how easy it was. Except for having to dip some out. But this is a quick, easy recipe. It's real fast if you want to surprise your family when you got some bananas going on. I might even have to get out some more powdered sugar. Let me try this on. Let me see what's happening in this bowl, because I'm going to be piping this frosting on. It's close, but I'm definitely going to need some more powdered sugar. All right, I'm going to put y'all on pause. I'm going to go to the pantry and get me some more powdered sugar. All right, so I put in one and a half of these scoops, which is probably about a half of a cup, something like that. It might be a cup. I don't know what it is. I never measured it. Maybe it's a cup. But anyway, my cupcake timer went off too, so they've been in 20 minutes, and I've just put them in for another 5. So, all right, let's check it out. Let's check out the consistency now. All right. Now we're getting a little bit more like it, okay? Let me scrape these sides a little bit. I know I'm shaking y'all all over the place, but I got y'all down in here with me. The one-handed girl. All right, so you see that? That tells me it's going to probably be okay to sit on a cupcake, because it's, you know, holding its own. So this is a good piping consistency, and I know it'll hold on my cupcake because it's not running off. I'm having to kind of bang it. So that's perfect. All right, so we have our frosting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this down, and I'm going to take off my paddle. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to probably put y'all on pause, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape this off with my spatula, and then I'm going to take saran wrap, and I'm going to have enough for the bowl, but I'm going to press it on top so no air can get to this, because, you know, on cupcakes, when you have that frosting or icing on there, it gets a little crunchy, and it'll do it fast, and I don't want that to happen before I pipe it on. So I've got to keep all the air away from it. So let me go ahead and take care of this, and I will be back in a minute. All right, so the cupcakes are out. Let's see if I can hold it to the side so y'all can kind of see. So you see, they're more like quick breads, where they're not real humped over, which I'm glad, because you see, I'm just going to have enough room. Y'all see it at an angle. I'm just going to have enough room for all that good frosting in there. It's going to be yummy, y'all. So there's the frosting with the saran wrap on it, right? So it's no air getting to it. So these need to come out. Yeah, that's still hot, 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 hot. So I'm gonna just grab these little corners and I'm gonna pull them right out of here. I don't want to mess them up. Look, I'm gonna hang up the phone, y'all. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? I need to get off here to get these out so I don't break them. Okay, so the cupcakes are almost cooled. So I am filling my pastry bag with the icing. And I have a little tip on here. It's gonna, I don't know, kind of make like a flower kind of look. Not really. I don't know what you call it. I don't know what the name of this little tip is. At one time I might have remembered the name or the number, but it's my go-to. I use a star tip or I use this one. And to me it kind of makes little ripples, almost like a petal on a flower. So. Anywho, see how nice. Now I did go ahead and set this in the refrigerator because it had cream cheese and butter in it. And my kitchen is a little bit hot because the oven's been on. It's been kind of rainy today, so it got really cool for a while. But then, I didn't have my air conditioner on. But once I started heating up the oven and I had the stove on, I was cooking some dinner for my husband. It was pasta, so there was steam going everywhere. He had leftovers, but he wanted pasta cooked for some leftover chili he had got out the freezer and some leftover spaghetti sauce that we had when his brother was here from Atlanta. He calls it chiletti. He likes his chili over spaghetti noodles. But anyway, so I was boiling him pasta to have with his leftovers, okay? So, anywho, my kitchen got hot, and I didn't want my icing to get really soft so I couldn't pipe it. I had put these out on my porch because it's a little bit cooler than it was in here. So I'm going to go grab them so we can get them frosted. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pause you guys till I get these out, and then I just set them in this pan and I ice them right in this pan. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all the cupcakes in here, and I have my first bag of my icing, and I'm going to just try to work this down into the tip. What I really like to use is my scraper, this little handkerchief scraper tool right here. I also have some dough scrapers that are metal, but because this is a plastic bag, I do not want to rip it. So this has a rubber side, so I just typically try to scooch this down with this. It's kind of like a rubber squeegee, and it gets it tight because this can get air bubbles, and then it makes your cupcakes get messed up. All right, so I've got it down in there pretty good. I really got too much. You should be able to twist this up without it running through the top, but here we are. All right, so I'm gonna just bring this around, and you release your pressure when you stop. Right. Y'all, these cupcakes smell so good. My husband said the same thing. He was like, oh my gosh, what's in that stuff? He's never had a hummingbird cake, which I'm pretty sure I have made one. He just doesn't remember. But it has been a while. So, anyway. How? I love doing icing. I used to decorate cakes, make cakes for different people's parties and things. I used to make ice cream cakes when I worked at my first job at High's Ice Cream in Colonial Heights, Virginia. So the other thing is, the more you work with this icing, your hands are on it, it starts to warm up that butter and stuff. So you have to work pretty quick. And see, I just keep twisting. I don't know. Y'all might have done this yourself. You might be cake decorators. Alright, so I'm going to scrape this down and fill up the bag again. So it does tend to get a little messier when you have to refill your bag because it's already got icing on it. But taking this with the rubber squeegee and squeezing some of it down helps. Plus it gets out all them little air bubbles. Alright, so heavy glass. Again, I'm going to try and roll this down without it getting too messy. Alright. Let's fill it back up. Y'all need to see me fill this back up. Alright, got it filled back up. I'm going to start again. I got it on my arm, but it'll be alright. I get it off. So I don't worry about going, exactly to the edge because they really just look so pretty. I think a little bit of the edge showing is nice. When you frost something with a knife or a spatula, you might take it all the way to the edge. But when you're doing this kind with the piping looks so pretty that it just kind of, to me, just adds to it. So you can see it's pretty quick when you got a bag like this. Especially with these bigger commercial tips. I told y'all, I think before, that I like these bigger tips. Alright, so we're going to refill it one more time and that's going to be it. Alright, last time. Finish it up. This is the perfect consistency of icing. Perfect. I love working with it when it's like this. Alright. They look good. Stuck up. Alright. So we are done with these. Now, what we're going to do is, we're going to get Charles in here. I'm going to let him try one. I'll be right back with you. Okay, he volunteered to be the guinea pig. So they are sticky, so the paper's going to stick a little bit, kind of like muffins. So.
I think I like to have a fork.
A fork? Oh, okay, I don't blame you. They are sticky.
After all. I'm not 10.
And you're on
I'm
camera.
not 10 anymore.
I get it. And you're on camera. You don't want that all in your beard. Alright. He usually says all my cupcakes are too sweet. But he'll sit and eat a candy bar. But,
That's awful. Awful good.
Well, he doesn't really like banana bread. His mom used to make it all the time with him growing up. And this does have banana in it. But it's not an overwhelming banana like banana bread.
No, but it's sweet.
It's sweet. That's why they're called Hummingbird Cupcakes, because they say they're so sweet, hummingbirds would like to come to it.
They probably would if they have banana in it. Hummingbirds like bananas.
And they like sweet. All right. Well, there you have it.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. All right. Y'all have a good night. See you next time. Make you some hummingbird cakes. Get rid of your bananas.
Bye-bye.